Let me know if we're on, Margo. Okay. Good morning, everyone. Hope we're reaching you. Today, Margo and I are on the road with the Unlawful Assembly. We just played a concert last night in New Milford, Connecticut, in a wonderful place called the Marial Center. I think the township is actually properly called Marial. And at this moment, we're in a farmhouse. Really beautiful spot, and maybe we'll get a scan of it. There's a pasture. There's a guy next door mowing the grass, and he just started. Apparently, he knew we were getting ready to start the broadcast. But that's all part of nature, and we accept these things on my show. Walter Park's here with Hymns and Hollers. This is Mother's Day, 2026, and I'm, the primary thought that comes to mind on Mother's Day is gratitude. I'm fortunate enough, for many reasons, because of my mother, mainly that she's still walking the earth. My mother's still alive. She's living in Jacksonville, Florida, in a home for old Southern ladies, and she loves it. She's got all these ladies from Alabama and so on, and North Carolina, and they talk about Southern things, and it's you can't hardly understand them, and but they love being Southern mothers, and somehow she acts like she's proud of me. I hope I haven't disappointed her too much, but I think that's one thing that you think of, or at least that I think of when I think of mothers, and gratitude. There's a flip side to gratitude, or a cousin to gratitude is expectations. I think I'm happy at this point in my life for just being alive, and as Richie Havens used to say, I'm here, and that's what made him happy. But I'm happy to be able to keep a guitar in my hand and keep out on the road. But what about the expectations of mothers? I think maybe I wonder about what expectations Stella, that's my mother, what she had of just raising kids and how they would turn out. I just never really think about that. How do we? What part of motherhood? What part of motherhood is the component of expectations and hoping that everything's going to work out just right? But in life, no matter what you're doing, you have this image of the way something's going to turn out, and then oftentimes, I'm finding that oftentimes the expectation, the moment doesn't really live up to the expectation of it, and you get used to it as you go through life. And then there's sometimes when what you find, what presents itself in your life is way beyond expectations. A good friend of ours from South Carolina who now lives in Connecticut said, I have a friend who has a farmhouse and you could stay there. And 9 times out of 10, when we're staying in a private house in the country, it's a little bit of an ordeal, but I tell you, this place is way beyond expectations. It's so beautiful. Margo, can I span the? Can I show them the shot here? I don't know if the camera's going to participate or you'll be able to see it, but look at that. That's a wonderful shot. And but I want to show you this. Take a look at the stone walls out there. Okay, you can come back to me. I'm sure they'd rather see that pasture, but I want to. I look at the stone wall and that wonderful, huge meadow. It's a perfect hill. I knew about these places when I was a kid because I read about them in storybooks and that kind of thing. And until I started hanging around in Connecticut and New England and so on, I never thought these sorts of places were real. But this is a place that doesn't disappoint you in terms of expectations. And but there are expectations, and then there's just acceptance of the way things turn out, and all of that is built upon faith, and that's why I think it's an apt subject matter is expectations um, and gratitude and fulfillment and so on. You undertake what you undertake just based on the faith that you're going to be okay, and then there's the question: is does a mother enter into motherhood just on faith, or is that just what we do as human beings? Do mothers just do that because that's what human beings who can do that do? I mean, that may seem crazy, but I mean, for instance, people ask me, why did you become a guitarist? Why did you start playing music? And well, I was having this conversation last night, and I was just a little bit, not a little bit, I was very kind of bored with the people that I was around when I was younger. There was not, people just seemed kind of flat. They were great people, very practical people, working people, salt of the earth people, the people that hold up the country. They support everything. Without them, nothing would turn. The wheels of society would not turn. But if you ask them, what did you think of something? They would say, okay. You go to a funeral. What are you feeling right now? I don't know, whatever. I mean, that was always puzzling to me. There was not enough life in that to me. And I don't know, maybe, did I become an artist out of frustration? No, I just became an artist because I had this fire in me, and I wanted to feel like I was alive, and I needed something else to remind me that I was alive. And it doesn't always work out that way. Sometimes people inflict pain upon themselves to feel like they're alive. I mean, take the Trent Reznor song from Nine Inch Nails, "Hurt," that Johnny Cash did so well. And I proudly have done a version of that on YouTube. It's sometimes we go the other direction. We go really dark, and just to prove to ourselves and affirm that we're alive. But I affirm that I'm alive by playing music, and my mother facilitated me playing music. She let my bands throughout the years of my teenage years just take over the living rooms, because she figured if Walter's drummers set up in the living room, and if Walter's organ player has his little Hammond organ in the living room, she knows where we are. And she didn't realize it at the time, but she was teaching me so much more than just about staying close to home, and not living a sort of a dangerous life. She was teaching me about how to deal with other creative people, other musicians, other artists. She was teaching me, or she was facilitating me learning about musical instruments, how to get them to sound great, what not to do, what to do. I blew up so many stereo systems and PA systems, and I destroyed so many guitars when I was younger, just trying to modify them, and I'm not proud of that, but it was all facilitated by my mother saying, it's okay, y'all do what you want to do, to an extent. And I think that freedom to explore opened up the possibilities of me being a songwriter. And so writing was just started to come natural to me because I had that freedom to be creative. And this is all to say, I on these episodes, my time with y'all, I don't want to just talk about me, but this is a little bit of a different episode. I don't have my turntables here, and I can't play music from other sources and that kind of thing. So I'm just kind of sharing some thoughts about where I am right now. But it's we go on faith that we can do a certain thing, and sometimes people tell me, well, the way to get through life is to just look straight ahead. You never look backwards. And I say that's a bunch of crap, because I look backwards all the time at the moments my mother facilitated of me playing in the garage or the living room and learning, developing an instinct on this instrument, for instance, and developing a faith in my own creative sense. So in other words, fast forward to the present day, I'm playing for an audience in Connecticut, most of whom I've never met or seen, and I think we had 70 people in the audience last night. It was a sold-out show. These people don't know me, they've heard of me, and I'm very proud of that. And sometimes I think, what am I doing? Who am I to be this kid from Florida, Jacksonville, Florida, and be in Connecticut playing for a bunch of strangers? And who am I? I'm the kid who played in my mother's living room. And I'm the kid who played at Mormon church dances for $25 for a 5-piece band in 1970 or 69 or whatever. That's who I am. I'm held aloft on the faith that I can do it because of the support my mother gave me. Not monetary, just the willingness to say, y'all do this. And I'm still held aloft at age 67 on the support my mother gave me and the faith she had in me that I could do a certain thing. Aren't those birds wonderful? So I'm going to play a song right now. This is an example of me kind of just accepting my southernness and so on in a certain part of my creativity. I wrote this about, I don't know, maybe around 2000 or whatever. I was sitting by the Intercoastal Waterway in Jacksonville, Florida with an old banjo, and came up with this one. This is a song I haven't played on this tour, and my fingers are a little stiff, but I love playing this one. It's called Sugar House. not my best performance of that, but it's okay. I went for it. Sometimes that's the flip side of faith. Sometimes you think you can get through something, and you make an attempt, and sometimes you trip up a little bit, and you get it right the next time. But I hope y'all appreciate my efforts here. I'm by a certain measure, I shouldn't be attempting that. As those of you who are regular listeners know, I recently had hand surgery, and that's a little tricky song, but I love taking songs that were originally composed or stylistically meant for other instruments, and that one was composed on a banjo, and so a song might have originated on another instrument. I try to translate it to guitar. I'm fascinated by that sort of thing. Looks like some folks are writing comments, and let me see if I can see some of them. I'm going to lean into the camera, and I mean, yeah, let's see here. Well, anyway, I'll take a look in just a second. No, it's all good. Hey, I want to show you some pictures that I've taken on this tour. Margot, is it possible to show any of those? Yeah. Just Margot, just put one up, and I don't know what you're going to show. Oh, okay. So here, I've always wanted to play at a place called the Red Lion Inn, and this is in Stockbridge, Massachusetts. And this was Stockbridge was the I don't know if it was the home of Norman Rockwell, but that's where he worked and where his studio was. A lot of great classic American creativity has sort of been born from the Berkshires region of Massachusetts. And this is an old inn that has a majestic front porch on it. And it kind of reminds me of some of the places in the South. It reminds me of Charleston and so on. But if you think about it, really Charleston was mostly, it probably came after anything that was happening in Massachusetts, or maybe not. But at the end of the day, Charleston was very English, as was this inn in Stockbridge, Massachusetts. And you see that old porch, and you just what does that do for y'all when you see a porch like that? To me, what I love about an image, and when I'm in person on that porch, or even when I'm staring at it, my soul, my energy just goes to, wow, I just wish I could slow down and just take in that porch and be in that moment. I wish I had more of those in that moments, just sipping a cup of tea or coffee. Maybe I should slow down more and just savor life. And I guess what I'm saying is these sorts of settings are reminders. They're touchstones that's really so much of why we do what we do, why we scurry around and earn a living. And it isn't it all so much of it based on the foundation of just savoring. Like, you have this concept in your mind that one day I'm just going to savor all of this. One day I love this pasture that I'm looking at. I'm just going to, I want to own this pasture, because I want to be able to have those moments of just sitting out and savoring this pasture or whatever. I want to keep my front porch well painted and well maintained, so that I can have those moments. But the irony of it is those moments are few and far between in life, but that's up to us to curate our lives in a way that we make all that scurrying around worth it, so to speak. And Margot, I know you're maybe you're trying to put up another image, but if you get to the point where you can do that, I'm curious to see one of the other images. But that was the old inn in Stockbridge, Massachusetts, called the Red Lion Inn, and we played in the pub downstairs. Very old, like This is 1800s. I think early 1800s. It was that this place was built. And let's see what else she has to put up. Um, anyway, we'll get that image up to you in just a second. But that song is called Sugar House. I did it with Swamp Cabbage sometime back. That's on our second CD, I think. I believe it's on our second CD. Might be on Jive. I can't remember, but Swamp Cabbage is a group that I formed in 2001 mostly to explore the southerner I could have been had I stayed in the South. And it's a little bit of a satirical look at the South. And so some people who hear me traipse around the country singing about old spirituals and serious music, and then when they listen to my Swamp Cabbage thing, they don't get it. They don't get that. How can this person who is real serious and singing about issues of the spirit also sing about ordering grits without butter in a Waffle House? It's all part of me. It's all part of being a Southerner. Now here's a picture of a wonderful. It's called the St. James Place, and it's a old deconsecrated chapel in Great Barrington, Massachusetts, that our good friend Seth Keyes is the general manager of it. He took us, he gave us a quick tour of it. But look at this majestic room. They renovated this about 10 years ago and sloped the floor a little bit. It was originally flat, and since it's not a church anymore, it's a performance space. It is a magnificent sounding room. I sang a little bit of my Italian arias in there, and it has just the right amount of showbiz, is what I call reverb, natural reverb. And on the walls are these wonderful stained glass windows. But I want y'all to concentrate on the font of that stained glass, if we could. Oh, I see. That was hand lettered, and the lettering gives tribute to the person who took care of the church. And what is this person's dates? This person was born in April of 1771 or 97, and he died in 1886. Now that's history, and that's really history. But it's sometimes that's all we get out of life sometimes the best we can hope for in life is a nice font. When we do our work, sometimes somebody's gonna come up with a wonderful original font, and I hope that Margot, when I pass away, and she puts me in a pine box somewhere in the South, and to let the elements get to me. I just hope she can hire a graphic designer to come up with an original font for me. And the only thing I want is Walter Parks, and now I can get some sleep. Something like that. She won't do it. I know my wife. But anyway, gosh. I'm not going to spend too long talking to y'all today, but let's take a look at another picture. But I just love those old. This is a kind of I think it's a barley field or something. It's a meadow right outside of Boston, and I just love the golden calm of it. Now these are reeds, and you folks who know botany or so on would know exactly what this is, but it's marshes in the northeast part of the United States. But I'm a tall person. I'm 6'5", and these things tower over me. These are about 7 feet tall, and I made a short video out of it too. But I like taking these sorts of pictures on the road because they stir up song ideas for me when I'm just looking at these old videos that I've taken, and just song ideas come to me. And again, that's because I, from a very early age, I had faith in my own creativity because of the support and encouragement that my mother gave me. So I'm crediting my mother here in this show. Let's do one more image from this tour, if there is one. I think this is of the farmhouse that we're staying in. Look at these old chairs. Well, they're probably not so old, but they harken back to an older day. I think these are probably just chairs that are meant to remind us of Paris in the late 1800s or something, or early 1900s. But that's what I love about art. It grounds us to tradition. It grounds us to roots. And there's different types of roots. There's roots from England. There's roots from Africa. There's roots from South America. Whatever your upbringing is, there's different things that you might have in your house that remind you of who you are on a guttural, basic level. And when I see these chairs, I don't have French roots. Well, I have Gastons in my family, so there is that French connection, so to speak. But it's a validating. Art can validate us and remind us of who we are. But it also reminds us of the possibilities. When I see those chairs, for instance, I love the rust. That signifies the passage of time. That signifies resilience. Even though nature's trying to take that chair over, the chair is still a chair, and it's ready to support us. I'm sitting on one of those chairs as I talk to y'all right now. And it reminds us that we can keep going, that nature is definitely going to win. I'm here to tell you, if you don't take anything more from this Sunday sermon, I will tell you that nature will win and you will lose in that sense. But do you really lose? I don't think we lose. I think we come here and we do what nature has set out for us. Those lucky among us, do what we have no choice to do, and which is to serve our nature, serve our best nature. And I think that's really, maybe that's what our mothers do for us. They give us an opportunity to live, and it's up to us to serve our best nature. But in my case, at least, my mother encouraged me to find what my nature was and to serve it. And heck, I'm not a wealthy man, but I've done okay. And the wealth that I have has pretty much all been based around and has happened because of music, because I followed my passion. And thank you once again to my mother. I don't feel like gabbing any further than that. Margot, do we have any more pictures? I think that's probably it. That one maybe we haven't shown yet. Look at this wonderful stone wall, and that, friends, is what I'm seeing right now. And the gentleman who owns this farm is a very fortunate person, and so is my good friend Jessica, who's from South Carolina and has moved up north. That's where her life has taken her, and this is what she sees, or something like it. She lives right up the road a piece, and I wonder how much these pastoral scenes have influenced the work and the art that she does, and that her husband do. But anyway, I hope in some way you've enjoyed your time with me. I think I'm going to end with a song, although I'm not sure I know what it's going to be quite yet. I feel like playing. Let me retune this guitar. People ask me sometimes. A gentleman asked me last night, "Why do you have so many guitars?" And it's because I use different tunings during my show. But while I'm tuning, I'm going to visit with you just a little bit. I'm playing tonight in Hoboken, New Jersey. So, or actually this afternoon. This is we're going to get in the car pretty soon and drive back down to the New York City area. Myself and Stephen Williams are doing a kind of a duo show, and at the 503 Social Club in Hoboken, New Jersey. It's on my website. What else is coming up for us? I'm going to Florida next week. I'll be playing in St. Augustine, Florida. Next Saturday at I can't remember the name of it. Rivers. What's it called? Waterworks. And it's a Gamble Rogers tribute concert. St. Augustine, Florida. If y'all have any friends down there, tell them I'm coming. I'm playing in Winter Haven, Florida the next day. A week from today, I'll be down in Winter Haven, Florida, playing for my good friends at the Dairy Down. Hold on, y'all. And then I conclude the month at the Florida Folk Festival. I'm going to try to do the Folk Festival all acoustic. They like me to change it up a little bit every year, but I'm so grateful that they have me. I seem to be a regular now there. I'm super, super grateful for that. So, this is an Allman Brothers song. This is the only song that in the Allman Brothers repertoire that Duane Allman composed solely by himself, and it's called Little Martha. Walter Parks, it's Hymns and Hollers from the road. Today I'm in Roxbury Station, Connecticut. Look it up on the map. It's a real small little dot. I hope you've enjoyed our time together. It's been short. Next week, for the next 3 episodes, I'm also going to be on the road. I'm not sure where I'll be next. Probably be coming to you from St. Augustine Sunday morning. And we'll see what that neck of the woods does for my music and so the show. Thanks to Margot. She's my beautiful wife and my engineer, my producer. We carry a staff of hundreds on the road for us to make these episodes happen, and it's quite a big operation. So we hope that you've enjoyed the high-end production value of another episode of Hymns and Hollers. Please tell friends I'm coming. Check out my website. There's so much that's happening on the road. I'm learning so much about life. Most importantly, I'm staying at it. I'm keeping on course of being loyal to what comes natural to me more and more. The older I get, the more my focus is just on what is easy, what enables me to do what I do best. And the only reason I'm yakking about myself is because I'm trying to encourage y'all to do the same for yourself, whatever that is. And so many of us who are getting up there in years, we're trying to reconcile our hopes and dreams with where we are at this point in our life. So many of us are. Like, what have I accomplished how close did I stay on the compass of what I really wanted to be as a person? And this is the time, this is the greatest time in our lives to just, to align ourselves, to recalibrate where we're going in terms of where we want to be going. And I'm so fortunate and grateful that I'm still at it. Yes, it's not always an easy life being on the road and being a musician, but somehow I've made it happen. And I've done all of this craziness and somehow managed to affect people and give them a positive outlook on life, I hope. All because my mother encouraged me to stay the course and to get started at music in the first place and to stay on the experiment. Thank you to my mother, Stella, and thank you to all the mothers all over the universe. Y'all have a good Mother's Day. Walter Parks, Hymns and Hollers. Bye-bye.